Charlie Kirk's lifestyle is one of constant motion, fierce debates, and an image crafted as much by controversy as by conviction. At just 30 years old, he has already positioned himself as one of the most influential conservative voices in America. But behind the speeches, viral debates, and leadership of Turning Point USA lies a life filled with unexpected turns, shocking details, and a relentless pursuit of influence. These top 10 facts about Charlie Kirk's lifestyle reveal how a young man from Illinois became a national figure, and why his choices continue to shock both critics and supporters alike. Charlie Kirk's rise began without the conventional pedigree that many conservative commentators often carry. He never completed college, dropping out after only a brief stint at Baylor University, a decision that many thought would cripple his future. Instead, it became the defining first step of his lifestyle, a rejection of the academic establishment. By age 18, Kirk was speaking at the Republican National Convention, warning about liberal indoctrination on campuses. His anti-college stance wasn't just rhetoric, it was lived experience. He built Turning Point USA out of this rejection, channeling the anger and frustration of conservative students who felt silenced in higher education. The shocking fact here is that the absence of a degree became his weapon. He flipped what society views as a failure into a brand, making himself not only a political activist, but also a symbol of defiance against what he often calls the woke university cartel. The second shocking fact about Kirk's lifestyle is the sheer speed at which he built a political empire. In 2012, with just $5,000 in seed money, he founded Turning Point USA in his parents' garage in suburban Chicago. By his mid-20s, the organization had ballooned into a multi-million-dollar nonprofit with offices across the country. His lifestyle became one of constant travel, campus to campus, rally to rally, building an army of young conservative activists. Unlike most young adults of his age group, Kirk wasn't building friendships in dorms or climbing a corporate ladder. He was negotiating with donors, sitting with billionaires, and rubbing shoulders with high-ranking Republican leaders. The pace was relentless, and so was the money. Turning Point USA's annual revenue grew to over $50 million by 2021, a staggering figure that turned Kirk into not just a cultural warrior, but a nonprofit executive commanding resources that rival some universities themselves. Third, Kirk's lifestyle is deeply tied to proximity to power. From a young age, he sought relationships with America's most influential conservative figures. At just 18, he earned the mentorship of Bill Montgomery, a Tea Party activist who helped him launch Turning Point. He later built connections with the Trump family, especially Donald Trump Jr., who frequently appears at TPUSA events. Kirk himself became a prominent voice defending Trump during his presidency, appearing on Fox News, writing op-eds, and speaking at CPAC. In 2020, he even launched Students for Trump, mobilizing young voters to support the president. Kirk's lifestyle here is not one of quiet advocacy. It is a front-row seat in the halls of conservative power. He travels in circles where few his age ever enter, and this access to political elites continues to shock both supporters and detractors who marvel at how quickly he carved his way in. The fourth shocking fact about Charlie Kirk's lifestyle is his use of media as a weapon. Beyond speeches and rallies, Kirk has cultivated a massive digital footprint. His podcast, The Charlie Kirk Show, reaches millions of listeners monthly. He maintains a strong presence on X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, using platforms not just for promotion but for influence. His posts regularly go viral, sparking debates, criticisms, and praise. The lifestyle of a media warrior means constant engagement. He is always recording, posting, reacting, and responding. His day is structured around the 24-hour news cycle, And in this sense, his lifestyle mirrors that of major media hosts like Tucker Carlson or Ben Shapiro. The shocking aspect here is how a man who never graduated college has become a de facto professor for millions, teaching his version of politics and culture directly through podcasts and live streams. The fifth fact lies in Kirk's fundraising lifestyle. He is known as one of the most aggressive fundraisers in the conservative movement. His organization has drawn millions in donations from Republican megadonors like the Koch network, Foster Friess, and even family members of the DeVos dynasty. His lifestyle often includes high-end fundraising galas, dinners with wealthy benefactors, and appearances at exclusive retreats where political strategy meets luxury. For a young activist, this world of private jets, five-star hotels, and high-profile dinners is not typical. But for Kirk, it has become part of the routine. His critics argue that this lifestyle of access to wealth contradicts his populist message, but his supporters view it as a necessary reality for sustaining the fight against liberal dominance. The sixth shocking element of his lifestyle is his constant presence on college campuses, despite never having completed college himself. He thrives in this environment, speaking to students, debating professors, and hosting massive events like the annual Student Action Summit in Florida. His life on the road is exhausting, traveling city to city, debating, filming, and mobilizing. Unlike many politicians who visit campuses occasionally, Kirk lives in this world. It is his battlefield, and he has built an entire brand around confronting what he calls leftist orthodoxy head-on. His calendar is filled with flights, speeches, and debates, making his lifestyle one of permanent campaigning, even though he is not running for office. Seventh, Kirk's lifestyle reveals the influence of faith. Over the past few years, he has increasingly emphasized Christianity in his speeches and writings. He often frames cultural battles as spiritual wars, portraying Christianity as the foundation of Western civilization under attack. His podcast frequently features pastors, Christian thinkers, and discussions on biblical principles. This emphasis has become not just part of his public persona but his personal lifestyle as well, shaping the way he speaks, the events he attends, and the networks he cultivates. For Kirk, faith is not a private matter. It is part of his brand, his mission, and his life's work. The shocking part for many observers is how seamlessly he merges religion with politics, presenting them as inseparable. The eighth fact about Kirk's lifestyle is his embrace of confrontation. His career thrives on moments of shock value, whether debating atheists, confronting liberals on college campuses, or going viral for fiery soundbites. This confrontational style isn't confined to his work. It defines his way of life. Kirk operates as if always on stage, always prepared for a fight, always armed with talking points. His energy is sustained by conflict, and his critics argue this constant combative stance has hardened him, leaving little room for nuance. His supporters, on the other hand, see it as courage, a willingness to say what others fear. This constant living in the arena of confrontation is exhausting for most, but it has become Kirk's daily reality. The ninth shocking detail is that despite his wealth and fame, Kirk lives a surprisingly private personal life. Unlike other conservative influencers who flaunt their luxury or personal relationships, Kirk reveals little about his family or home life. He married Erica Frantz in 2021, a podcaster and former beauty queen with strong Christian advocacy ties. Together, they project an image of faith-centered partnership, often appearing at religious and conservative events. But outside of this, Kirk keeps his personal affairs guarded, focusing attention back onto his public battles. The secrecy itself is shocking in a world where most influencers monetize their personal lives. His choice reflects a deliberate separation. His private world remains insulated, while his public persona remains in constant exposure. Finally, the 10th shocking fact about Charlie Kirk's lifestyle is the contradiction between simplicity and influence. While his critics imagine him living in unchecked luxury, much of his lifestyle is actually rooted in the grind. Long hours of work, endless travel, and constant exposure to public criticism. He has influence, wealth, and access, but he also bears relentless scrutiny. His life is not one of quiet privilege, but of high-pressure survival in the public eye. Every tweet, every statement, every debate carries consequences. His lifestyle is as much about endurance as it is about power. In the end, Charlie Kirk's lifestyle is a mirror of the polarized world he inhabits, dramatic, shocking, and controversial. From rejecting college to building a national movement, from raising millions to living a faith-driven life, his story is one of contradictions and confrontations. He is at once a symbol of youthful rebellion against the establishment and a figure deeply entrenched in conservative power networks. To understand Charlie Kirk's lifestyle is to understand the culture wars themselves. A battle fought not only in politics but in daily choices, personal convictions, and the relentless pursuit of influence. His life is shocking not because of one fact, but because every part of it challenges expectations, making him one of the most compelling and divisive figures in American political life today.